Hi, I'm Callyn Gunville, and today we'll be reviewing the workings of the adolescent brain. In summary, the development of the prefrontal cortex plays a crucial role in decision-making and risk assessment. As a result, most adolescents may struggle to effectively control their risk-taking behaviors compared to mature adults. Examples of our society understanding and accommodating the needs of adolescents while their brains are still maturing are higher insurance premiums and segregated justice systems. As we explore the workings of the adolescent brain, let's first look at sculpting the brain. We first want to look at how the brain works during the pivotal time of adolescence. While new cells and connections are created in the prefrontal cortex, so are new pathways. Over time, the weak cells are eliminated and stronger cells are reinforced. As a result of these massive changes occurring, the brain's ability to focus its efforts on reasoning and impulse control is reduced. And this is a process that can take up to a decade, occurring throughout our teenage years. A study published by C. Albert et al. This graph shows the percentage of risky decisions made by different age groups in a driving simulation. Focusing on the first set of bars in B and D, you can see that the adolescent not only made more risky decisions than other age groups, but those risky decisions increased significantly when made alongside peers. This reinforces the understanding that teens have a higher likelihood of making risky decisions, and those decisions are easily influenced by their peers. From an adolescent eye, adolescents have yet to develop a strong sense of self, or in other words, they're more prone to focus inward. This can result in heightened self-consciousness, which I imagine many of us have experienced. A strong sense of worth typically develops in our 20s and can lead to reduced extremity and/or frequency of self-conscious thoughts. Teens are more likely to make riskier decisions. According to Sarah Jane Blakemore and Trevor Robbins, adolescents show a preference for decisions that provide an immediate reward. In a study, participants given the choice between a small immediate reward and a large delayed one, adolescents tended to choose the short-term reward, where adults chose the larger delayed reward. For an example, $5 now, $100 in a month. Adults chose the $100. Adolescents typically wanted that $5 right now. Similarly, in another study regarding decisions involving risk, adults preferred to avoid losses rather than acquiring gains. Conversely, adolescents showed preference toward risky decisions with uncertain loss in hopes of larger gains. An area we commonly see direct acknowledgement of the reduced cognitive capacity in an adolescent brain is with car insurance premiums. Many of us are aware of higher premiums for teen coverage. Insurance companies are aware of the fact that teens are more likely to make riskier decisions and have a reduced appreciation for long-term consequences of their actions. Additionally, they recognize that it takes time to practice and learn driver safety, and as a result, insurance premiums tend to go down the older we get. In an effort to entice safe driving, many insurance companies offer reduced premiums and discounts for students with good grades or having taken driving courses. They also offer discounts for vehicles with devices installed that allows driving habits to be tracked, and for older, slower vehicles that tend to be safer compared to sports cars. In the justice system, we recognize that neurobiological and psychosocial changes that are characterized in adolescence are associated with increased risk-taking. Compared to adults, adolescents are less able to consider the consequences of their actions, plan for future, control their impulses, and regulate their emotions. Additionally, the adolescent brain is very sensitive to social rewards, easily emotionally aroused, and primed to seek new sensations. Risk-taking itself is intrinsically rewarding to adolescents, particularly in the presence of peers, which activates reward centers in the adolescent brain. It's been shown that the youth are more amenable to rehabilitation than adults. During the 20th century, the U.S. justice system took a get tough approach to crime, which shifted the justice system from rehabilitation to punishment. They then realized that the punishment simply delays delinquency since it does not enforce tendencies to consider consequences of behavior before acting. Advocates and researchers applied developmental science to justice and recommended a developmentally supported policy which shifted the juvenile justice system back to the goal of rehabilitation in an effort to match youth to legal responses that are developmentally appropriate. In my professional field of large corporate finance, this topic does have little relevance. However, as a mother of 2 young children, I took a personal interest in understanding the adolescent brain, not only for my own ability to empathize with seemingly difficult behavior, but also to help my future teens understand their own brains and understand the developmental hindrances behind their impulsive behavior. Growing up, it would have been helpful to understand the science behind my struggles and to know that I was not alone. I hope to help my children understand this and believe this knowledge will have a profound impact on their adolescence and on their upbringing. Perhaps my biggest takeaway from this research is understanding how normal, risky, impulsive behavior in adolescence actually is. I can understand how frustrating it might be for parents of teens when they make silly decisions or seem not to grasp the consequences of their actions. Realizing how inherently normal these behaviors are not only helps me understand that I'm not alone, but neither are my future teenagers. I hope to take this information and break it down into a way that is understandable and digestible for my children and help them understand how their brain works in hopes of coming up with a game plan together of how to overcome these feelings, emotions, and behaviors in an effort to mitigate some of the larger consequences and long-term effects they might have. That concludes our discussion today. I want to thank you for your time, and I welcome you reaching out to me with any questions that you might have.